So here's a game I was worried about, as I love Pikmin, but I look at what happened to Chibi Robo and was concerned it would be the same. This demo has alleviated some of my concerns with what they could have done to Pikmin on the portable, and ultimately I think it's going to be a good transition. I love these funny story bits Nintendo come up with, just as a way of getting the story started. Like they bear no real meaning to the gameplay, but it adds a bit of charm. And of course he's back on an alien planet, like in previous games. It's pretty lucky for him, isn't it, that more Pikmins are here on this planet too. I think something we can always rely on with Nintendo games is the presentation. I mean, this already looks gorgeous. Even though I've played all 3 Pikmins, it was nice to have this introduction to the new side-scrolling aspect of Pikmin. To climb up, you just hold the direction button, which is a nice thing. You don't have to tap or anything like that. Again, the presentation here is just awesome. It's so Nintendo. So much character to it. Anyone who's played other Pikmin games will be familiar with the mechanics like throwing and Pikmin carrying items for you, collecting treasure, and in this case a Sparkelium. The red Pikmin are still your kind of go-to fighters, fire-resistant guys. So there doesn't seem to be any benefit to holding the stylus down. There's no charge to the Pikmin throw in this. So that's the very short introductory stage, and there are 3 in this demo. So the demo kind of puts you off on your own a bit more now. This is kind of the first stage, collecting treasure. You haven't got the tutorial with the guidance. You're building the bridges that you'll be familiar with from previous Pikmin games. But now it's in the 2D plane. It's actually translated fairly well into this. I mean, there's none of the fast-paced platform that you might get from a Yoshi game. In some ways it feels a bit more like a Kirby game in the slow-paced nature, but with a completely different kind of mechanic in terms of combat and puzzle solving. This is still very much a Pikmin game. So this is our first piece of treasure, and the little dots indicate how many Pikmin are required to carry the treasure. That's quite a nice visual representation of how many you need on the low resolution screens of the 3DS. You can use the circle pad or the D-pad for control, which is nice. Nice to have the option, especially since recent games like Pokemon Sun and Moon have actually ditched the D-pad as a control method. It does seem that there's a certain number of pieces that the Pikmin can carry on screen at once, so it looked like 4 there, and that Pikmin couldn't pick it up until another one was put down. That's the first big enemy we've seen. Those poor Pikmin are in trouble. Again, I really like how they're showing you the mechanic without just telling you how to do it. These Pikmin have shown you. And anyone who's played Pikmin before will be familiar with combat like this, with red Pikmin. Just throw them on. Let's get this thing killed. Interestingly, the bodies actually disappear in this game, instead of falling to the ground and being salvageable in some way. So I like this idea that Olimar can go off separately with this jetpack and complete other parts of the level. So just up to enter the caves, just like any other side-scroller. So there's another piece of treasure, and we didn't actually require any Pikmin to collect it, which is quite interesting, because all previous Pikmin games have required the treasure to be carried back to whichever ship you are piloting at that time. So those hearts are Olimar's health. You can see this item is a bit more heavy. It looks like a CPU or something. I like the use of the 2 screens here. So you've got the carrying going on the top screen, and then a bit of collecting on the bottom screen with the rest of the Pikmin you have. So Olimar can still be hurt too. So you've got not just the number of Pikmin you've got to solve all the puzzles and get through the level, but also Olimar's got to be kept alive. So that's the second demo level complete. You see all the red Pikmin have got flowers now, so they're leveled up. They do come with you, but there are no onions, it appears. I like this screen. This says everything about Pikmin to me. You got fruit, you've got fighting, you've got Olimar recklessly throwing in Pikmin to the battle. So here's the third level of the demo. So we're tunneling into this cavern, collecting the Sparkelium along the way. I haven't said much about the sound yet, but I really like the music so far. I like that they've maintained so many of the sound effects down to Olimar's whistle, they didn't mess with that. The Pikmin all sound as they do on the console versions. Now anyone who's played Pikmin 3 will be thinking right about now, okay, we need a different kind of Pikmin to solve this puzzle. And you'll know as well. And there they are, Rock Pikmin. Ah, they're so cute. I think these were a great addition to Pikmin. They really add some different puzzles to the game. I love the purple Pikmin too, but I think Rock Pikmin add a different kind of dynamic to the puzzle solving. So it's nice to see them back in this game. I like the way the Pikmin will bounce off this mushroom. So I've got this alert that some of the Pikmin have been lost, so the whistle is not calling them to me at this time, just like in the console versions. So we just go off and find them here. And of course the Rock Pikmin are now perfect to tackle this guy, breaking his shell, taking him down. Another cave. This time the Pikmin are on the same level as me, so they're usable in this puzzle now. Those red Sparkeliums are worth 5, so after the 30,000 you need, that's still not great. So the treasure is going to be essential to hit that mark. Now I'm not sure if all the treasure is collectible in this demo or whether it's limiting you and you need other types of Pikmin to come back here. But I believe you probably need the flying Pikmin. So some of my Pikmin ran off there and at least one of them died. So that's just Pikmin all over, isn't it? Can't trust them to look after themselves. But now all those Rock Pikmin are pretty powered up. They are all flowers. Although I still don't know what significance that has in this game. Man, I wanted that Zelda cartridge. What is it? Link's Awakening DX, I think? So, I actually found my copy of the original Link's Awakening for Game Boy the other week. And it needs the battery replacing on the cartridge, but it has the box too, so I'm overjoyed about that. So again, on the presentation front, this is great. I love this. They're like bounces. This was an interesting little puzzle. So the Pikmin, when thrown over, wouldn't actually drop off with that can. And it wasn't immediately obvious to me that Olimar had to go across. But then I realised that the spiky enemies had to be stopped so that Olimar could jetpack across and collect the treasure with the Pikmin. Definitely sacrificed the red Pikmin there before figuring this out. So overall, I think this is a good demo for Hey Pikmin. I'm not as apprehensive as I was about this game coming out. Certainly much less apprehensive than I was when it was first announced.